following is a paid program. The opinions expressed are not necessarily those of WNBU and Interbanks Media. Welcome to All Things Money with David Blain, a thoughtful and revealing discussion of actionable ideas and effective strategies to help you through the complex world of investing, taxes, and real estate. Now, with All Things Money, here's David Blain.
Hello and welcome to All Things Money. I'm your host, David Blain. Thank you for joining us today, broadcasting on 94.1 FM WNBU, as well as cable TV 10 in New Bern. We've got Bob Register, as always, keeping us on the air and getting the engineering taken care of. We appreciate his efforts for us today. We also are on the internet. Our website is www.dlblain.com, and we have archive copies of the shows there. Maybe you're listening to that now. You can download it, put it on your iPod, take it with you, or you can stream it. We have the video there as well. So lots of ways to get the content, some good information I think that's very beneficial to people. A lot of the ideas for our show are what you want to talk about, our viewers and listeners. So we encourage you to let us know what you're thinking, what you like about the show, what you don't like, things you want to hear. Are lots of ways to get in touch with us. Of course, we still use the phone. The phone number is 252-633-0107. We have an email just for the show here, which is allthingsmoney@dlblain.com. And of course, you can go to our website. Once again, that website is dlblain.com. There's a big Contact Us button up in the upper right-hand corner. Just hit that and you can send us a note. I want to start off today with something that I think is important. I hear this all the time. I just saw it the other day. Someone came in with a bank statement. And it seems like a lot of people, as they get up in years and maybe their husband or wife has passed away, and they want to put their child on their accounts, their bank account, their brokerage account, things like that. We generally think this is a bad idea, and I'm going to go through some of the reasons why today. Now, each individual case is specific, so you need to apply this to your own specific case or, add some, your situation to it. But in general, we think it's a bad idea to have a child on a bank account. And I'm going to go through some of the reasons why that is here for you right now. So let's take, say we have a 65-year-old widow and her son is married, and June, let's say the lady's name is June, the son, I don't know, Henry. Okay, so June wants to put Henry on her bank account. Let's look at what happens when she does that. So by adding Henry's name to her bank account with rights of survivorship, it means that he has the same rights and responsibilities as she does. And in fact, by putting her on there, she's actually made a gift to Henry. So for example, if, say, she has a bank account with $50,000 in it that's in her name, and she just puts her son's name on it, she has actually made a gift of that money to her son. Of course, the exemption is very high now, but she will be required to file a gift tax return and so forth if the amount is over $14,000. So putting someone on an account, you have made a gift and could have unintended gift tax consequences. So that's one thing to look out for. Another one is if Henry has creditors, let's say he has a credit card and he falls behind on his payments and they obtain a judgment against him, the bank account could be garnished. And so, Miss June could be sitting there and one day all of a sudden the money just taken out of her checking account because Henry was a joint tenant and he had a judgment against him, even though she was not involved in any way in the dispute with the credit card company. So that's the second reason. The third reason is if your son maybe gets into trouble, maybe instead of going into default on that credit card, he looks at that checking account and says, oh gosh, I think I'll just take it and pay off my credit cards. Perfectly legal. Not stealing, nothing he can do. He could clean that bank account out and leave June empty-handed. perfectly legal, nothing wrong with that. And I know, I have 5 children, so we all, like to think that our children wouldn't do that, but sometimes, they get into desperate situations, they get backed into a corner, and they do things that they might not ordinarily do. No reason to subject yourself to that risk. Another thing is, well, let's say Henry is married and he starts having problems with his wife and gets separated and divorced. Well, that bank account that Henry's a joint tenant on is now marital property and could be, his ex-wife could be entitled to a portion of that account. Now, you have to check with the lawyer on the specifics of that, but that's the general concept is if he is a joint owner of that account and he gets divorced, that some rights could convey to that ex-wife. So, the mother-in-law could be unintentionally funneling money to an ex-spouse. Probably not the result that she intended when she put his name on the account. Another thing, the classic, Henry's out there and has the auto accident, rear ends a school bus, hurting some poor kid and gets in a lawsuit. Once again, those assets that are in those joint account could be awarded by a court to help fulfill any judgment against Henry. Here's one too that I've seen happen. June's will clearly states that, let's say she has 2 children, Henry and a sister, Henry's sister, and her will clearly states that she wants to divide her assets evenly between the 2. And let's just say that her bank account, she has all her money in a bank account. Well, when she passes away, all that money immediately becomes Henry's. And so when they probate the will and go through the settlement process, they look at her assets and they see the only asset was a joint account that's now Henry's. There's nothing there. And so she could unintentionally give all the money to the one child. Now, people might say, well, I'm going to put all my children on it. That's even a worse scenario. I don't know that we want to get into that today, but that's an even worse. You've just multiplied the problems with that, by 2. But the fact of the matter is you could unintentionally cut a child out of the will. Another couple of things real quick is that putting his name on an account can affect Medicaid benefits, long-term care benefits, those type of benefits. It also affects, let's say Henry has a daughter trying to go to college, and he has to list that joint account now as an asset, and it may affect their ability to get financial aid for college. So there's a number of reasons, you got to look at your specific situation, but there's a number of reasons why we don't recommend putting a child's name on the bank account of a parent. Well, that's about all the time we have for the first segment. When we come back, we'll start talking about what's going on in the markets.